On the land of the Kabi people, welcome to USC Stadium. The light show on here as the Lightning and Fever prepare to take to USC Stadium. They're at other ends of the ladder, but quite simply, the Lightning have to win. They've got to win 5 of their last 6 to do what they've done in every year of Suncorp Super Netball so far, and that is to play in the finals. The Fever, they're on track to match last year's record of 11-3. Laura Geitz, here are the lineups. We know that Jess Anstis is missing for the Fever, Laura Sherian for the Lightning, so there are talking points aplenty in the Woolworths team cards.
Absolutely, there is, Matt, and we've spoken a little bit about most of it is happening in the midcourt for the Lightning and in that attack line or that shooting end for the Fever. Emma Kosh being rewarded for what she's done, but don't the Fever have so many options, whether it be Glasgow, Alice Teague-Neal, Coach Dan Ryan has got plenty of options on the bench in that forward line.
So Conan and Wood in the shooting circle, and then you go down from there. Annie Miller, a starting role for her, Sandra Mahalia Cassidy, Maddie Hinchliffe, Kate Walsh and Tara Hinchliffe. That's how the Lightning will head out, and the Fever. Fowler and Kosh. Kosh starting. Pittman, the training partner, called into the starting team, playing her 3rd game of the season. A decorated and experienced campaigner Chelsea Simmons, Frances Bayman, Ariang and Courtney Bruce. Now round 1, a big win to the Fever. 82-63, and the Fever knocked these girls, the Lightning, out of last year's finals as well. So the visitors have won the last 2, but as Caitlin Bassett said pre-game, she feels this game might be closer than their ladder positions suggest.
And if the Lightning do win today, then all of a sudden they might find themselves inside the top 4. So it just goes to show how close and congested the ladder is. So anything can happen. And that's what the Lightning, they have to have the belief amongst this playing group that they are well and truly capable of taking the win and keeping their season alive.
Courtney Bruce and Steph Wood sharing a laugh. Gee, Courtney Bruce has been in a good mood all day. It's as if she's had the win and enjoyed the win already.
Well, you have to be happy if you're sitting pretty on top, wouldn't you, Matt?
With some of her stats, absolutely. Top 2 in so many defensive stats. Centre pass, game 1, round 9, Suncorp Super Netball, Lightning Fever. And it's the visitors with first possession as Pittman goes to Kosh, who shot from distance confidently and gets it back. Fowler wants a better look and gets it now. Janelle Fowler, she was 64 of 64 one-point attempts when they met in round 1. She missed a couple of Suncorp super shots, but that was it. And she's gone on with the job from there, Janelle Fowler.
Well, here you've got the Lightning with such a patient game, just that fast, quick ball movement. As Caitlin Bassett said earlier on, Conan has that beautiful moving game. She can expose the baseline better than anyone. She needs to do that on Bruce today to really keep Bruce busy.
Cara Conan shooting at 90% this season, but last week, 15 of 20, 0 super shot attempts, and Kate Walsh hits the floor heavily. Straight back to her feet with a big smile as another goal for Janelle Fowler falls. Dan Ryan and his coaching team looking on. You'd like where they sit on the ladder in top spot, 6-2. Their only losses against the Vixens by 9 and the Giants by 1. Here's Steph Wood finding her range.
Yeah, and that's a good shot there for Steph Wood, just to get her confidence going, to get ball in hand. But just have a look at the ball pace of the Fever. The last centre pass from them too, just Chelsea Pittman. As soon as they get ball in hand, they just turn and look and sight Fowler immediately.
Cassidy with the centre pass for Wood. Steph Wood, 16 of 29 shooting last week, including only 2 of 8 Suncorp super shots. That was partly because of the scoreboard pressure they found themselves under repeatedly.
Well, the Lightning need to approach each quarter and break it down. The first 10 minutes, they just need to do exactly what they're doing now. Level pegging, score, put the scoreboard pressure on with the Fever, and then they're in a position in that last 5. They've got the, oh, great hands over Maddie Hinchliffe. Then they've got the super shot to be able to capitalise on, and Steph Wood is capable, and I think we would see her accuracy a lot better if she wasn't shooting to just keep the game alive.
Emma Koch after a first up miss. Goals here. Are you surprised that Emma's starting? There's no Sasha Glasgow or Alice Teague-Nield in this starting lineup for Dan Ryan?
Well, they've got options, as we've mentioned earlier, to be able to go to. I am surprised, to be honest, because I think potentially not the strongest shooting option we've seen from Fever. Dan Ryan might have different ideas, and great work to Emma Koch to securing that position. We don't see what happens during the week at training, but let's not forget all teams have got a very quick turnaround this weekend, and then matches Tuesday and Wednesday coming, not to mention the travel that Fever have. So whether there's also the element of keeping legs fresh might be on that man Dan Ryan's mind.
Annie Miller finds Conan. Now Cassidy. With Conan under pressure from Bruce, who's penalised.
But clever little play there from the Lightning, just moving the ball around, keeping the defenders guessing. So you would have to say Conan and Wood off to an impressive start.
Frances Bayman finds Verity Simmons. Now Fowler beats the reach of Walsh. And it's the Fever by 1.
Well, Annie Miller has been fantastic on these centre passes. Her timing, I'm loving what I'm seeing from her. She was outstanding last week against the Thunderbirds when she came on with Laura Sherian, but here's just a loss of possession for the Lightning, but Fever do exactly the same. So a get out of jail free card for the Lightning.
Well, Caitlin Bassett, nearly 5 minutes gone in this first quarter. What are you seeing?
Yeah, look, that first real turnover of the game so far. Each team playing smart, playing tight. Lightning in particular, so much more settled than last week. Expect to see a lot of that happening in the circle. This matchup between Bruce and Conan is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? Conan, we spoke a lot about Steph Wood and what we want to see from her in this game, but she has to be supported by Cara Conan, doesn't she? Seabass. Conan is obviously an Australian shooter. So what, as a previous goal shooter, what should Cara Conan be doing to well support Steph Wood in that goal attack position?
We'll get back to Caitlin in one moment as Cara Conan finds Wood.
Maybe I caught her off guard. Maybe she has no idea.
I think it was such a good question that Caitlin wants time to really think about the answer to give the question due merit. There's an intercept taken by Courtney Bruce, who's hurt a finger in doing so. Just shaking the hand, trying to make sure blood gets back into the fingers. And now Janelle Fowler does the job at the other end.
And this is where the Lightning defenders have to rally and be proactive in winning possession back. We know they're capable of doing it because they've done it so easily, but this is where the Fever are dangerous. They obviously win that possession and then they follow it up with another quick goal, and this is why they can score so quickly.
An important possession here for Lightning. Down by 3. As we touched on pre-game, one of their aims today is to avoid the scoreboard pressure. They fell under against the Giants and then last week the Thunderbirds.
Well, the defensive pressure there from the Fever, outstanding, but great work, Steph Wood, just opening it up, coming out that top of the circle, up the guts, and just relieving that pressure that the Fever had put on defensively.
Maddie Hinchliffe called for the contact.
You can see the Lightning here going into that 2-on-1 defensive structure, splitting the circle up and just allowing Emma Koch to be isolated. But that's what they have to be careful of, is just that shooter-to-shooter pass, and Emma Koch just having that easy access into Fowler.
Is Miller rewarded with a starting role today? The injury to, well, the COVID protocols for Laura Sherian and Annie's performance last week in the second half. There she is feeding Cara Conan. Her missing net points well up on her season average in the second half cameo last week, Annie Miller. Now Simmons quickly to Janelle Fowler. Walsh can't get there in time. And a nonchalant look on the league's leading scorer, Janelle Fowler.
Well, it's just a really patient, steady game so far. Cara Conan And Steph Wood, both of them just utilising that drive up the centre. Just, Sunday Ariang, though. Doesn't take long for her to really put her influence on the game.
The Australian Diamonds defender in the squad, preparing for the Commonwealth Games as Stacey Francis-Bayman takes the cross-court pass from Pittman. Pittman performing with Adelaide in a cameo role, and now her regular club, the Fever, for a third time this season. Fowler.
Well, the Lightning are playing a double team on Fowler. They're coming back, both Walsh and Hinchcliffe, but the ball is still going into Fowler, so that's not working. They need to try something differently.
An HCF tactical timeout is called by the Lightning. Down by 4. Kylie Byrne wants to address the troops. Let's listen in.
Top 3 artists. But remember that next option is conversation. It's like a real basic. They're doing a really good job to cover that middle, but that next person just has to be on the move. Yeah. Okay.
We're on the reset, girls.
I think also when you punch middle, I think we can still go a little bit further into it so they collapse in that real space, because we're trying to get through here and then we're going almost back to the space. So see if we can punch, get them on your back and then have that wide. Let's, instead of getting in a line, let's see if we can get one of you down, and when you're into the goal third, even if you go with depth and we come back up. On the second phase link, just don't come out a little bit, I think you're slightly early, so that let them land, because they're trying to get it deeper and then come out and punch. Okay. When you then pass, I reckon you can take 2 steps forward and then you do go down. Okay.
Our time, girls, let's go.
Landing on 2! 1, 2! Lightning! Tighter on D, so you want to shift across as well, but get the punch up the middle.
Kylie Byrne speaking to the Sunshine Coast Lightning, down by 4 halfway through this opening quarter.
Yeah, and this is obviously that 10 minutes that we spoke about already. Fever just putting some of that scoreboard pressure onto the Lightning. Kylie Byrne wants the Lightning to have options in attack at times. They've just got the one. What she needs, though, is this defensive end to win some ball for them.
Kosh from range, and Janelle Fowler, the offensive rebound and the goal. 13-8. The ladder leaders out by 5.
Well, there's just no easy pass for the Lightning. Everywhere they look, the options are covered. They've got hands over, which is forcing them, as we see right now, to have to reset backwards and go again. So it's hard work for the Lightning. Every single pass right now has a Fever defender all over it.
Little deflection from Courtney Bruce. It falls kindly for Cara Conan.
And then have a look at the freedom here for the Fever. There's no hands over, no first ball contest, and they've just got that easy vision into Fowler. So you take those 2 passages of play, how laboured it is for the Lightning, opposed to how free-flowing it is for the Fever.
Let's head across the court to Caitlin Bassett.
Yeah, look, I'll be surprised if Dan Ryan has a voice after this game. He has been up on his feet screaming at his players. Just like you mentioned, it's about that scoreboard pressure, and it's crucial time for them with that 5-goal lead at the moment to really push it out. But Lightning aren't doing a bad job. I love it when Steph Wood gets the ball. And to answer your question earlier, Geitzy, Cara Conan to support Steph Wood has to be ready when Steph turns with the ball in hand. She needs to be posting on her player, or she needs to have done her movement so she's free and the pass can go straight in.
And here's a little win for the Lightning. So as you said, Caitlin, there's some really promising passages of play. They've just got to stick with it. And they have to convert from these opportunities, because there's not too many when you're playing the likes of a Fever. But what a shot!
The first Suncorp super shot of the game, scored by Steph Wood. And the first mix-up of Suncorp super shot pronunciation by M. Russell. None from one, my shooting.
I can tell you there'll be a few more to come.
Absolutely. So 14-12. Wood again for 2, and back-to-back.
Well, this is what we love seeing from Stephanie Wood, because this is what we know she's capable of. All of a sudden, 14 all through the hands of Steph Wood and 2 incredible super shots.
She was 2 from 8 super shots last week, and she's dropped 2 in the opening quarter already.
Well, Emma Kosh not to be outdone.
But look at the reach and the strength, the presence of Janelle Fowler. Despite the best efforts of Tara Hinchcliffe, she grabs the offensive rebound and makes good.
Well, sometimes as a defender, you're never going to win a clean rebound over Janelle Fowler, but what you can do is get in there and be a real pest, bat the ball down. Someone that does that exceptionally well is Jiva Mentor. Courtney Bruce, that was an absolute steal if I've ever seen one. Just came through, bounced pass and picked it up so beautifully.
And quickly they find Fowler to extend their leads. Out by 2 again.
Well, have a look at that. Just the footwork. Cassidy had no idea that Bruce was just creeping up behind her. She will have nightmares about that one, and it will definitely plant a seed of doubt in her mind in terms of those pocket balls.
Fowler again.
Bruce absolutely loves coming out for those swing balls and pockets. So Lightning, whether they could fake it a little bit, just get Bruce on the move.
If you want to know a little bit more about Courtney Bruce, I encourage you to listen to Sarah Carraglu's The Fourth Quarter podcast. Look up Fox Netball podcast, The Fourth Quarter. Sarah had a great chat with Courtney Bruce as Wood scores again. I learned that she was a state high jumper, didn't really like netball, went to state high jumping and then pushed by mum, went back to netball, and here she is.
Well, she's an athlete. You've just got to watch her vertical jump. She's got so much power. That's why we see her. Oh, another win for the Lightning, and here they come. The crowd gets involved too, Matt, and all of a sudden, oh, yeah.
Tara Hinchcliffe returns the favour.
Unfortunately, a stepping call there. Kylie Byrne would not be happy with that one. An absolute coach killer, a stepping call.
Simmons gets away from Cassidy, but Kate Walsh. Some real defensive highlights a week ago, and there's another one. Maddie Hinchcliffe to Wood, but look at this defence from Fever.
Yeah, 3 intercepts to 1 intercept for the Lightning, so already Fever making an impact, but have a look at that beautiful easy shot under the post for Conan. Kate Walsh, arms for days. Great anticipation.
Stacey Francis Bayman, Courtney Bruce, Sunday Ariang. They're busy. They make life so difficult, don't they, Caitlin Bassett, for these goal attacks and shooters at the Lightning?
Yeah, look, I'm looking and loving the dodges from Steph Wood at the moment. They need to add some more dodges and fakes into that attacking end and really try to make sure they make the most when Conan ends up on Sunday Arirang. That mismatch they need to exploit in that attacking end.
Absolutely. There is nothing harder than to defend a shooter that has impeccable timing, footwork and movement. It is so hard because you're trying to watch the vision of the ball while also watching where your opposing player is. There's so much going on. So if you've got a shooter there that's just standing and holding, it's a lot easier to know where she is and where the ball is opposed to those dodges that Caitlin's talking about. So this movement from the Lightning is working well. They've just got to persist at it and keep consistent with it.
Janelle Fowler yet to miss. Emma Kosh, 1 of 3. Here's Miller for the Lightning. Looking for Conan and finding her. But Steph Wood positions herself a step back to the Suncorp super shot falls. Her 3rd of the game. She's 3 from 3.
Well, there's a confidence about the Lightning today that we haven't seen, but oh my goodness. That ball, Hail Mary into Fowler, but Fever unable to finish it off. The clock beat them.
Well, the prediction from Caitlin Bassett that the Lightning would fight hard and make this closer than the ladder suggested is turning true. The home team up by 1 after the first quarter. We're back to USC Stadium right after this.
Where the Lightning are leading the West Coast Fever by a goal I just had a sneaky listen in to the Lightning, to the Fever huddle, sorry. Coach Dan Ryan very wary of the power that this crowd has, urging his players when it gets loud and when the Lightning get on a run to stay composed. Guys, I hear you are listening in to the Lightning huddle. What do they have to say?
So interesting. I have to agree with Dan Ryan. It is so important for the Fever to take the element of the Sunshine Coast Lightning crowd out of the situation because they are dangerous. They are the 8th player of this Lightning outfit. Kylie Byrne, she was laying down the law to her players. She said, we are in this, you need to believe. Use that middle channel, which is what we've seen them using in that first quarter. She's loving it, saying that is dangerous. It is working so beautifully. So the direction to Annie Miller in that wing attack position was to take her defender wide to the sideline to really open that middle channel up for the likes of Conan and Wood. So let's just see how this second quarter plays out. But don't we have a game on our hands?
Annie Miller gets it back. Little fumble. All is well that ends well. And here's Steph Wood, the star for the Lightning in the first quarter. Passing for Cara Conan. And you're right, the crowd maybe a little quiet before centre pass, but certainly finding its voice with their team right in this contest.
Well, it was interesting because even before the game started, it felt really quiet with no energy or vibe in here, which is not usually what the USC Stadium is about. But once the crowd gets going, we've all of a sudden got a full house up here. They love their Lightning team. They support them so beautifully, and they know that the season is on the line. But Courtney Bruce, that was a risky play. Annie Miller thought that Cara Conan was free, unleashed it, but Bruce has just got that speed and footwork to be able to get to the ball quickly.
Now Frances Bayman to Simmons. The Energizer Bunny in centre court for the Fever. Through Pittman, Janelle Fowler. And she keeps the scoring going. Sunshine Coast, 6 games to go before the finals. 3 of them are here, including this one. Here's Fowler again. Hinchcliffe can't stop the goal. They're here today against the Fever, back on Tuesday against New South Wales Swift. So back-to-back home games with them walking the finals tightrope. Needless to say, big game tonight and Tuesday.
Well, it is. It's a huge game for all teams, and particularly if you're not inside that top 4, which is realistically the Fever and the Vixens. They're pretty safe, but anyone else can make that top 4. Stacey Frances Bayman comes up with the win.
Now Ariang to Kosh. Pittman. And Conan takes it out of play.
Well, the general play turnovers, Lightning a little bit more expensive than the Fever, and this is a dangerous little period of play here for the Lightning. They've leaked some easy goals here early on to the Fever, and this is where the scoreboard pressure comes. So you would hate to think that they've done the hard work in that first quarter to let it all slip through their fingers in the opening minutes of this second quarter.
Kosh to Simmons to Fowler. And again, she's in perfect position. Kate Walsh can only watch, and they're out by 3. The first quarter to the Lightning by 1, 19-18, but since then, 4-1 to the visitors.
Swing, contact. Contact.
Well, those last 10 goals, if you have a look at their Fever with the last 5.
Steph Wood can end that run. Gets it back. Wood to Conan.
Step forward.
And they'll go back to Steph.
Well, Steph Wood, 6 from 6 at 100% and 3 from 3 when it comes to the super shot. So her accuracy is well and truly on point today.
Fowler steps in. 24-21. Wood quickly to Cassidy, and they turn it over.
Well, Bruce, she's good on the ground. Again, that footwork, working around the body, cleaning up the crumbs, and it's just all too easy for the Fever.
Well, Fowler was home alone. An easy goal for Fever. And an HCF tactical timeout called with the West Coast 25-21 leaders.
Okay, come in closer, come in closer. Okay, on our centre pass defence, in your own heads, you know what our priority is. Okay, you must step out and deliver on this, guys, because that sets us up for everything. You know what's on this sheet here? Okay, and that's what you step out in this second quarter, and you cannot let this get away. Because you were in this and you've worked too hard. Go back to your first, second focuses. In attack, your first, second focuses. What are your victory points? You all know what that is.
Come on, guys. Let's go. I think we're doing all great intentions, like a cut. But if you can, let's see if we can open up some width. Because at the moment, we're probably all together so they can work on that box. Let's see if we can grab some width. They're going to jump ball side and we might be able to open it up.
Use the ball. Use the ball.
1, 2, 1, 2.
The coach and captain speaking there in the Lightning huddle, and the coach especially sounded like a person who knew that their season is on the line tonight. That'll be said a few times in coming weeks if they keep winning, but certainly if they beat the Fever at home tonight, such a huge step for Lightning, and desperate there from Kylie Byrne, the Nissan net points match leaders. No surprises to see Janelle out in front from a lady you shared an unbeaten season with in 2011, Laura Geitz, Chelsea Pittman.
Yeah, she's an outstanding player, Chelsea Pittman. I'm loving seeing her given the opportunity from the West Coast Fever. She was obviously playing the end of her career out in Adelaide, wasn't given the opportunity, but here she is for the Fever and getting opportunities. So she's obviously had experience too, or been coached under Dan Ryan there at the Thunderbirds. She's a sensational player in that wing attack. She's smart. She's a strong body there as well. So a beautiful little addition to this Fever attack line.
Mum and Dad, Derek and Denise, I believe, flying up from Sydney to watch Chelsea tonight. As we see an important goal for Lightning. Possession here, centre pass to Fever, and Caitlin Bassett, you were listening in to Dan Ryan in that recent timeout.
Yeah, look, he's a greedy man, is Dan Ryan. 4 goals is not enough for him. He wants 5 and 6. And look, to help stem those goals, I would love to see Lightning perhaps throw on Katie Haney. We haven't seen a lot of her so far this season, and I think just changing up something different, Fowler's having a bit of a field day out there for the start of this second quarter, it would be a good change-up.
Absolutely, it would be, Seabass. Katie Haney is obviously that Jamaican teammate of Fowler. She's got those long arms. She's got the ability to jump. And just as you mentioned, have a different dimension, a different element to throw on Fowler, because at the moment, Fowler is just looking far too comfortable, 25 from 25. She needs to be uncomfortable. She needs to be forced out of position. And that's what I'd love to see from this Lightning outfit, is just try something different in the defensive structures and setups that they're putting out there.
So a second goal for Emma Koch, answered by the Lightning at the other end. 27-23.
Well, this, as you can see there, oh, Tara Hinchliffe. Unfortunately for the Lightning, the umpires called it back, but they were playing that split circle off the body a little bit.
Both players.
Well, the crowd not liking that whistle for obvious reasons. Was Tara a little unlucky there? There's the coach looking on.
Well, I mean, they've just got to keep plugging away at it. You're not going to get too many ball off this Fever attack line, but the ball that you do win, you need to be able to capitalise on.
Cara Conan yet to miss tonight. So her and Steph Wood shooting at a much better clip than we've seen in recent times. Responding to the criticism, handling the pressure, as is Emma Koch.
Yeah, Annie Miller just doing a nice little job there on the centre pass, coming through 2 defenders, and great ball movement there from the Lightning. This is where I'd love to see Steph and these more experienced, even Mahalia Cassidy, they're the experienced players in this lineup, and another win for them. So the momentum has shifted. Maybe that firm address from Kylie Byrne has done some good.
But can they make something of this possession? Steph Wood Back for Walsh.
Well, have a look at this box defensive setup from the Fever. So they're in that square format, playing and defending the space opposed.
Oh. Contact, Stacey Francis Bayman on Mahalia Cassidy.
Well, Mahalia Cassidy, she finds herself on the floorboards a little bit, doesn't she? She doesn't shy away from a challenge. We see there just eyes for the ball, Stacey Francis Bayman.
Just a free ride for Mahalia. She enjoyed herself.
She absolutely did, didn't she?
Who needs the theme parks when you've got Suncorp Super Netball? And now Steph Wood looking for a better shot.
Oh.
Conan says it's not off me.
Well,
the referees agree.
Lucky for Lightning. That could have gone either way.
Wood, her shot misses. It jumped in, it jumped out. Yet to enter the Suncorp super shot period, but she went from range and missed. Steph Wood feeling confident.
What I love most about Fever is just their ability to look long and deliver the long option. It just is so direct. They can just get that ball down court so quickly, and it stems from the lady that came up with the win, Courtney Bruce.
Cassidy, back to Walsh. And now Maddie Hinchliffe. The captain joins in. Cassidy down again, clutching at a foot off the ball. Back to her feet now. And Wood finds her. Conan under pressure from Bruce. And it will go the way of the Fever.
What a win. Courtney Bruce just completely monstered Cara Conan over the top of her, wins possession.
Back to the fourth quarter podcast with Courtney Bruce. I learned she had younger twins, 16 months the difference. So mum and dad had 3 under 2 at one period, but she reckons the twins bullied her. That's why she likes the physicality so much now. 2-on-1. Courtney Bruce, the most penalised player for contact in the league, but it's because she plays hard, she's determined, and we love that competitiveness.
Well, she's one of the most penalised, but she's also winning the most ball alongside Shamira Sterling, which suggests she is in the contest. You can see there she's got 7 penalties for the game, but she's putting her body on the line, so you can't win ball and not be out of play some of the time. So it's what you want from your defenders, a healthy amount of penalties as long as they're winning ball.
Really important time to
Apart
take
from
a
the
breather,
fourth quarter
reset here.
podcast, don't forget centre, circle
again,
and pivot.
great
Let's listen to Dan
momentum,
Ryan.
great moment. Now we make the shift into super shot period, all right? So Vezi and Stace, everything we can to hustle off circle edge, all right? Sunday in court, sitting high in the circle. If they're shooting, they're only 1-pointers. If they're in a 2-point range and they're taking the shot, let's double jump it. So ball goes back in that 1-point range. So 1 point only for those guys. For us in attack, scoreboard pressure. Just keep ticking over the ones. If you get in a comfortable range and you feel it, absolutely go for it, all right? If you're not feeling it, Jay's there. We keep the scoreboard ticking over, all right? Own the moment.
Straight away, because it's often like a shooter popping, and if you slide, Sunday and I already instructed behind, so we can have a look. Yeah, so just like open up to middle, and then your eyes forward.
Yeah, okay. Lock into the moment here, guys. Everyone in?
Let's go back centre pass, back centre pass.
Yeah. Last time we proved we could demonstrate and learn from it. Here's another opportunity to lock in and consolidate. All right, big effort. Let's go.
Everyone, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Dan Ryan had a decorated netball playing career. He's coached at elite levels in Manchester, 3 years at the Thunderbirds in Adelaide, in Ireland, and most recently the Leeds Rhinos. Here he is as the only male coach in the league, and he's top of the table.
Well, you got to love his passion, don't you, Matt? Every time he delivers or addresses the girls, he speaks with so much passion. Just then he said, own the moment, feel it. Even when they're up, he's asking more and more, but down this defensive end for the Lightning, we see the change that Caitlin Bassett wanted, and that was Katie Haney into goalkeeper. So let's see what she can do on Fowler.
Caitlin Bassett, over to you.
Yeah, look, this was the change that we were talking about earlier. Katie Ann against her Jamaican teammate in Fowler, and Look, she's got a tough job ahead of her. She's currently shooting 29 from 29, so I'd love to see her get off the body, come and attack some ball in the air, but really stay in play and stay unpenalised too.
Oh, well, that pass just spilled over the sideline. The pressure that they put Sunday Ariang under, unnecessary. And what do Lightning do here? Do they take the super shot? Do they just take the ones? Steph Wood, you can see, is hanging back in super shot territory. But this is the situation they find themselves probably in a little more than they'd like in recent rounds, is having to shoot out the super shot to stay alive.
Obstruction.
Fowler. And Dehaney making life a little tricky, but Fowler handles it all with such aplomb. I'll come back to you. What would you like to see the Lightning do here? Resist the Suncorp super shot temptation? Be happy to go up by one or not?
I think they need to take the opposition coaching advice in terms of Dan Ryan, own the moment. Feel it. If you feel confident, if you feel like you're in a good range in where you want to take the super shot, then take it, particularly if your other shooter is under the post in good rebound position. But that's down here in attack. In defence, I'd actually love to see them communicate with one another, work as a defensive unit and really try to win some ball. They had the gains last week, but we're not seeing the ball being won as much as what we know they're capable of doing. Kate Walsh, can she get over the shot? Reject it.
Great work, Fever, from Simmons to Fowler to Kosh, back to Fowler, and they make it work.
This second quarter for the Lightning, absolutely no reflection of what they were in that first quarter, and another loss.
Outscored 2-1 in this quarter.
But they've had 10 general play turnovers. Fever only 6.
So a big 2.5 minutes coming up for Lightning. At the very least, they need to keep pace. They'd love to close the gap. Fever too good to let them race clear. Fowler scores with Katie and Dehaney watching on.
Well, it's just too easy. Have a look at that. 3 passes to goal. Emma Kosh just sitting back in the pocket. It's just far, far too easy. And a little mini 3-goal run from the Fever and another loss for the Lightning. So the wheels looking like they're, well, starting to fall off, aren't they, Matt?
Well, Caitlin, what's standing out to you? The Lightning's inadequacies or the skill and the form of this Fever lineup?
I'm having a look at the intercept stat. It is 7 to the West Coast Fever and only 1 to the Lightning. They're throwing far too much ball away and it's being capitalised. Courtney Bruce has been picking up a lot of balls. She's on 5 intercepts alone at the moment. So I want to see Lightning be a little bit safer and treasure possession more. Stay in this game. It's 10 goals, but don't let it blow out any further.
Well, it's the depth too that the Fever are getting on this centre pass. There's no defensive pressure from that centre pass into that second phase. It's just far too easy, which means Janelle Fowler is sitting pretty in her favourite position under the post. You can see there, she's smiling. She's having a great day out. There's absolutely no pressure down there at this present time.
Wood knew the shot was short the moment she let it go. Now Conan. And the crowd says more of that, please. But Janelle Fowler, last round, 125 Nissan net points, her season high. After 120, a couple of weeks prior, round 6. She's averaging 100 Nissan net points per outing. This colossus of the league.
Well, Emma Kosh, she's going to have a crack at the super shot.
And get it. And get it easily. Emma Kosh.
And that's the risk that happens if they pay too much attention to Fowler. Kosh will play herself into the game. She will start feeling confident. She'll get the ball in the 2-point zone and go, well, I've got no defender on me. I might as well have a crack. 9 times out of 10, Fowler's going to get the rebound under the post.
There's Sasha Guthgo coming off the subs bench tonight. So Emma Kosh starting, and now Steph Wood deposits another $100. Courtesy Suncorp into the Team Girls Foundation. And we hit half-time, 10 the difference. The ladder leaders flexing their muscle in that second quarter. They win the period 22-9. So much work for Kylie Byrne and the Lightning to do at the break. You're watching Fox Netball from USC Stadium on the Sunshine Coast. West Coast Fever out by 10 against the Lightning. Fever coach Dan Ryan has been good enough to join us. Dan, you scored 82 against the Lightning back in round one. You're on track to do something very similar again. Are you 11 out of 10 happy with that?
Oh, I think we're going well. I think it's a really good response from the first quarter. We knew Sunny Coast would come out pretty hard. There's a lot on the line for those guys, so they really brought some of their best netball in that first 15. But we've weathered the storm well, and we've found an extra gear. And, it's a whole new ball game in this second half, so we need to make sure we stay on task.
Dan, talk us through Kosh and Pittman. You have to be happy with what they're putting out there in attack.
Yeah, really good. Obviously, we used it in our training rotations often, and I think they just complement each other's skill set so well. The strength and reliability of Chelsea is obviously awesome, and the speed and agility of Koshi is really dangerous when she gets going. So really happy with how those two are going, and great to give them the opportunity to get out there and compete.
How do you approach the next couple of rounds? Obviously back-to-back weekend and then midweek games. You obviously cover the most distance out of any team. Is there the element of resting legs in the thought processing at all?
Oh, you've got to be managing your athletes the whole season, so it's certainly a part of the decision-making process at times. And at the end of the day, if you've got 14 players in your squad, you've got to use the depth of talent, and we're demonstrating some great depth today and being able to use Chelsea in particular, and also Koshi having a start. So you've always got to have an eye on here right now, but knowing we've got the Vixens and then Giants over the next 8 days, which is pretty tough, so management critical.
Dan, goal for goal early in this third quarter on Centre Circle last Thursday. They had a poll regarding the Australian men's team and what it should be called going forward, with some of the suggestions being the Aussie Sonics, Sparks, Kelpies, Wattles, Garnets. Do you have a choice? What's your preferred option?
Well, when I played back in the day, it was the Sonics, so I quite like that one. But I'm actually all for the Kelpies. I don't mind the idea of the old, hard, working-class dog. I think it's great.
Oh, isn't it? Snapping at the heels.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you. Well done, mate. Enjoy the rest of this game. Safe travels back to WA for what is a busy period indeed. Good on you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Strong again from Janelle Fowler. It was 10 the difference at half-time. And now it's 11 to the Fever.
And we see a completely different forward line here for the Lightning. Steph Wood with the wing attack bib on. Riley Batcheldor into goal shooter. And Cara Conan out into the goal attack position, but unfortunately an early turnover there.
What do you think of those positional changes, Caitlin Bassett?
Yeah, probably not what we expected, moving Steph Wood into wing attack when we know how dangerous she is underneath the post, but I actually like it. I think what they're missing without Laura Sherian is that really safe hands. She knows how to work, she knows how to feed, and her connection. So Steph knows exactly where Cara wants to be in the circle, and now she's worked long enough with Riley, she can do the same and place them in the best shooting position.
And not only that, maybe when we see that super shot period, do we see Steph Wood move back? But I have to agree with Seabass. This is a mix-up, a change that we haven't seen. Oh, Cara Conan!
Big reach, wins possession. Now Hinchcliffe and Wood go to work with Batcheldor. Can they turn it into a goal? Frances Bayman also almost comes up with possession. And Riley Batcheldor, mid-range that finds the bottom of the net.
Absolutely. Beautiful little movement there, but have a look at this. Cara Conan, what a reach. And threading the needle, Maddie Hinchcliffe in that centre position to Batcheldor.
So Riley Batcheldor scores.
It was interesting to hear Dan Ryan comment on the strength and safety of Chelsea Pittman. It's exactly what she has. And this combination, even though we haven't seen it all that much at Suncorp Super Netball level, he mentioned that it's a combination that they run through quite a bit at training. Maddie Hinchliffe getting fingertips to that, so another good little win for the Lightning.
Wood looks around and spots Tara Hinchliffe. Batcheldor under pressure from Ariang, and Steph Wood assists her to keep possession.
Good work there from Batcheldor. She saw that Ariang was going for it and just was hungrier for it. That's what I'd like to see a little bit more from the Lightning, is a little bit more hunger for them from them, putting their bodies on the line, just willing to win, getting up and about.
Cassidy under pressure, and the contact is called. In fact, it will go the way of West Coast here. Kosh looking for Pittman.
Well, again, Maddie Hinchliffe just working her footwork around and getting hands and tips and touches to some of the balls that are going in. So she's just got to keep chipping away at it. She will come up with a win at some point.
Straight after this, we're off to Sydney. Giants against the Vixens. Here's Janelle Fowler. She scores again, and tomorrow the Magpies are in Hobart against your former club, the Queensland Firebirds, Laura, followed by New South Wales Swifts against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. That rounds out round 9, and then round 10 starts Tuesday.
Well, we're going to have finals on our doorstep before we know it, aren't we?
It's a race, isn't it?
Advantage offside wing.
And leading that race, West Coast Fever.
Goal defence, one step forward, goal defence. That's it.
Out by 11, 6 minutes into this third quarter.
Obstruction.
Batcheldor scores. Dan Ryan's team is in control. Simmons. Kosh and Pittman combine. And there's Fowler winning that aerial battle against Katie Ann Dehaney.
Yeah, well, she's just so strong, and particularly there's absolutely no hands over pressure. That's something that I would love to see from the Lightning defenders, is they're turning and getting early vision of Fowler under the post. They need to be able to have that first ball contest, but get back and get the hands up and really spoil that vision early, and that's what they're doing a little bit better there.
Kosh, the rainbow pass, finding Fowler. Seven all in this third quarter after a big win to West Coast in the second term. But they can't just afford to go goal for goal from here, Lightning. They need to shake it up, because it started at the defensive end. Oh, Conan. Ball one over the back of the head from Sunday Ariang accidentally, and it couldn't put Kara off. So the halftime margin remains.
Well, sometimes it's difficult to be in the defensive end. Kara Conan, another win, and she slams it down. A little bit of passion in her.
Well, they need to feed on that.
Yeah, absolutely they do, Matt. They need to feed off of the energy. It feels flat even sitting here on the sideline calling this game for the Lightning. You're so used to coming up here. There is this incredible atmosphere up here, but all of a sudden there we hear a little bit from the crowd, but it's been absent, hasn't it?
Time out, Fever.
But the crowd, we know, will respond if the Lightning fire up physically, close the gap, build some momentum against a team that, as we've said at half-time, looks so assured.
Just make sure there's this real aggression to keep her up and wide. Yeah. Don't turn and chase, aggressive block, because that
Harvey Norman replay showing Kara Conan's delight. Here's Dan Ryan.
Into wing attack and into goal attack. All right, so let's make that shift there. So fresh legs in the front line. Make sure we're really punching middle corridor as much as we can. Turn quickly and sight Jay. All right, give us a big defensive effort too to flood your first couple of centre passes. All right, to help them support these guys. Get that first phase shifted back. All right, let's look at the moment now. They've got one on us. Let's turn the tables now. This next 7. All right, make that adjustment. All right, let's go. Come on.
Let's go. No backward steps. Just Fever. Nice and simple. Yeah. Fever, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fever!
An HCF tactical timeout called. You've listened into the West Coast Fever, and listening into the Lightning for us is a lady fresh from the Doomben 10,000, moved to Eagle Farm today. Form expert, racing guru, Caitlin Bassett. What do you got for us on the netball front now, though?
Look, I didn't back any winners today, unfortunately. But talking and listening to the Lightning girls, I didn't talk to them. I might have whispered a few things, but I swear. No, look, it is just about really putting the foot down now. The circle rotation is working nicely between Bachelor Door. I'm liking the change of Steph Wood out of wing attack, but like we've mentioned before, we need to get ball. It's creating that offline and really faking that space to try and confuse the feeders about where they should put the ball into Fowler. They need to start getting some tips and touches and start using that passion that Cara Conan showed in that last few minutes to get this team going.
Riley Batcheldor scores. Alice Teague-Neald has come on for Fever, giving Chelsea Pittman a break.
Well, isn't it funny listening to Dan Ryan? He's so proactive in his coaching approach. He said they've just got one back on us there. So he brings the team together and addresses it. He's constantly asking for more at all stages of the game, whether they're up by 5 goals, 6 goals. He's just so passionate about just driving this playing group, which I think Fever are responding so well to as a playing unit.
Sasha Glasgow also out there for Fever. Look at the depth in this Fever lineup as we see Tara Hinchliffe grab the intercept. And they need a whole lot more of that. Batcheldor considers her options and goes back to Hinchliffe.
Well, the Lightning, they're not going away, are they? That's a really beautiful little passage of play. As we mentioned, the crowd's up and about. Beautiful work there, Tara Hinchliffe. Here come the Lightning.
7 the difference.
Get up and about. That's what you want from them. You want to see that little bit of passion. The communication within the units out there on court. Being the first ones to any loose ball gets.
Courtney Bruce tried hard to win possession but couldn't. It's a bit like last week against the Thunderbirds. The Lightning rallied in the third quarter. They ended up going down by 7, and that's the margin here at the moment. Can they go on with the rally this time? Batcheldor, Sunday Ariang, big pressure with the hands over jump, and still Kylie Bird sees her player score.
And if the Lightning can get another win here defensively and capitalise on the change in this forward line, Alice Teague-Neald in that wing attack position, Glasgow, as you mentioned, this is the opportunity to just catch these fresh legs off guard a little bit. Put the seed of doubt in their mind, and there you go, no goals, stepping call against Fowler.
And the crowd sensing this momentum now. Batcheldor spots Conan.
Quick little double play out there for Conan. Smart from her just to regain her balance.
They're using Maddie Hinchliffe well. Now it's centre past Lightning. Look at the score, edging closer, the home team.
Well, look at that depth on the centre pass in that second phase as well. Riley.
Super shot time, and Riley Batcheldor creates some noise and atmosphere now.
Here come the Lightning.
It's been out to double digits, the deficit for the Lightning. They've brought it back to 3.
All of a sudden, we've got some music in the house.
They're winning the third quarter 16-9. They've delved into the Laura Geitz playlist and started to pump it around the stadium here at Sunshine Coast.
Oh, man.
Wait till Akadaka comes out.
Yeah.
Now Conan gets away from Ariang and scores again. Caitlin Bassett, what's the go-to item in your playlist? What song is your pump-up song?
Look, it's a bit of Britney Spears, you know, old school Seabass style. But do you know what? I'm so impressed with this Lightning fight back. Fever are a little bit stunned at the moment, and this is all we needed from them to get it back within a winnable margin. 3 goals is totally doable, and setting them up for a great last quarter.
Absolutely. We were sitting here in the second quarter thinking, well, it's well and truly all done and dusted, but the Lightning have found some belief. And I reckon it's stemmed, or I truly believe it stemmed from this change in the forward line. Steph Wood in that wing attack role has owned it.
And there's Riley Batcheldor again going from range with a result. The Suncorp super shot has them out of their seats at USC Stadium. And last week it was the shake-up in the mid-court that saw a change.
Yeah, well, it was Annie Miller into wing attack and Laura Sheridan into centre. Just in back play, we can actually see Annie Miller standing up with the wing attack bib on. Will Kylie Byrne make a change? You wouldn't assume so, given this late little surge from the Lightning. Oh, Dehaney.
Katie and Dehaney was on collision course with Verity Simmons.
Glasgow just shakes her head there. You can sense her frustration. So she's come onto the court and they've rattled her.
And then it's off Glasgow. Is that how they'll rule it? Or is it off Lightning? Well, there's your result. It's been called contact on Katie Dehaney. And just settling it, the mum of this team, Janelle Fowler.
Well, you know what else is really quite interesting down in this defensive end for the Fever is exactly that. Courtney Bruce has been throwing a real spanner coming up against Riley Batcheldor. We haven't seen the wins from her that we're normally used to seeing. She's obviously down on the ground, copped a bit of an elbow there, but that's because Riley Batcheldor is flying around here, there and everywhere. Bruce just really struggling to keep up with her. So is this a bit of a tactical timeout? I'm not saying she didn't cop an elbow in the head, but is it a little bit of a tactical timeout just to calm things down a bit, take the momentum out? Kylie!
Wood, brilliant, running out of room. Her and Batcheldor working desperately, and they win possession and keep possession.
Oh, Cara Conan keeping it alive.
Only momentarily though. Simmons and Ariang, and making life difficult. Conan pushes the ball out of play.
Well, Dan Ryan's out of his seat over on the other side. Line from us.
A minute left in the third quarter. And Janelle Fowler, this time with hands over pressure momentarily from Katie Dehaney before being called out of play. It was 10 the difference at half-time. Again, Fowler strong.
Yeah, Katie Dehaney had great front position there. Good timing on the jump, not too far away from that ball, but that just shows the athleticism of Fowler. But a mini run here from the Fever. They've just scored the last three, so important for the Lightning to stay in touch here.
Katie Dehaney does seem most likely, from all the defenders on Janelle Fowler in this game so far, to create something at the defensive end for the Lightning.
Absolutely, just to keep that front position on her, on Fowler, I should say. Just step off the body a little bit, have a bit of a hunt. We can see her doing that down here in this defensive end.
The two Jamaican Sunshine girls. But there's Fowler. As we hit three-quarter time, the Lightning have rallied. The Fever have then answered, but the 10-point halftime deficit is back to 7. Fever 56, Lightning 49. 1 quarter to play. Do the Fever stay top of the table? Can the Lightning spark an upset? The Vixens watching on, they're up next. And maybe cheering on the Sunshine Coast. We're back to see how it plays out right after this.
Welcome back to the Sunshine Coast, where the Sunshine Coast Lightning, our home team, trail by 7 goals to the West Coast Fever. They got as close as 3 goals in that quarter with the changes of Wood in wing attack, Cara Conan in goal attack, reaping benefits to the team. Dan Ryan is going to have to pull out everything to stop the momentum of this Fever in this last quarter. Let's have a listen to what they had to say. Laura Geitz, interesting words from the Fever huddle?
Absolutely, there were. Seabass. Dan Ryan, I loved his comment to the team as a whole. Don't play the occasion, play the moment. So that says to me, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Just break it down, centre pass by centre pass. Be aware, know that the crowd will become involved in this game. The momentum obviously shifted towards the Lightning in that third quarter, so they've just got to be able to overcome that. There is a change though in this defensive end. Frances Bayman into goal defence. Ariang into that wing defence position. So obviously thinking ahead and just wanting to counteract this successful forward line change for the Lightning. Let's see what this little mix-up can do.
Hey, Dan Ryan, great words. Ignore the pressure, ignore the noise, ignore the chaos. And that's what Lightning will try to create here in this fourth quarter. Bit of chaos for the ladder leaders, bit of chaos for this player, Janelle Fowler.
Well, already this shift, Stacey Frances Bayman coming up with the win, so a nice little change up there defensively.
It was 10 the difference at half-time, as Seabass, Caitlin Bassett said a moment ago, back to 3 momentarily. The first 2 goals of this quarter go to Fowler. The biggest lead of the game for Fever was 12. So the Lightning have hung around, they've fought back, but they need another big rally.
Oh, Courtney Bruce doing what she does best, having a fly, putting the fear of life into the mid-quarters in the pockets.
Cara Conan hasn't missed today. All 21 shots hitting the mark, and here's Glasgow doing likewise for Fever.
Wing attack.
Steph Wood moving into that wing attack role at half-time. Double play there with Batcheldor, who turns, spots the target and hits it.
All of a sudden, with this change of Stacey Frances Bayman in to goal defence, there's an element of physicality that's added into the circle. She goes for everything. She puts her body on the line. So for Cara Conan, that's different to the style that Ariang plays. Ariang obviously has great speed, footwork around the body. Oh, Courtney Bruce! Well, that's the second one she's had a crack at. So her intentions this quarter are to come out and win some clean balls. So if you're the Lightning attackers, you have to look at that and go, let's fake her, bring her out of the circle and open up Batcheldor under the post.
Let's see if they do that in the next few possessions as Fowler applauds another goal. 54 from 54 without a super shot attempt. That won't surprise anyone. You might notice the players wearing the rainbow bibs. This is a pride match celebrating netball's diversity, equity and inclusion. Batcheldor scores despite the early jump from Bruce.
Obstruction, wing defence, centre third.
They need to deny Fever here. Easier said than done.
It's like a little triple play from Sasha Glasgow between herself and Verity Simmons. And the Lightning, they can't leave their run too late. If they want to make this easy on themselves, they need to start winning a little bit of ball, get themselves back in the game, but that's not how to do it.
Didn't even get to the shot. That's what the Lightning need to do at their defensive end. Glasgow. Fowler, who goes to Simmons.
Goalkeeper. Contact, goal defence in the back.
The Fever, 9 intercepts, 10 gains. Lightning, 4 intercepts, 5 gains.
So an HCF timeout. Look at the gain stat, 2-1 in favour Trying to stop Janelle Fowler, who has a couple of rebounds and assists, and of course 56 goals from 56 attempts. She's closing in on her season high 125 Bisson net points. Caitlin Bassett, I know you were listening into the other huddle, the Fever, not far to go now towards their 7th win of the season.
Yeah, that's right. Although they're playing strongly at the moment, Dan Ryan just pushing for more and more. They obviously lost that last quarter by 3 goals, and they know how dangerous the Lightning can be when it comes to the super shot. So mistakes like this, they can't be happening. They need to make sure they keep possession every one of their centre passes.
And it's really smart from Dan Ryan to take that approach with the Fever. They've made finals for the last few seasons and got to the big dance and never been able to win in those big games that matter. So what he's pushing from them is consistent 4-quarter performances, not making silly errors. So if they are, or if they do find themselves in the finals position, which going off their form so far, you would have to expect to see them there. They have to be confident that they can get to the big, big games and win 4 quarters. Make it easy on themselves, because that's been a weakness of this playing group in previous seasons.
Beaten grand finalists in 2018 when they finished 2nd. Beaten grand finalists in 2020 when they finished 3rd. They were 3rd last year, but actually had the best record of 11-3, only finishing 3rd because of their salary cap setback, the penalty. And if they win this, they're on track to go 11-3 again into the finals at least, maybe 12-2.
There you can see the general play turnovers. So Lightning just a little bit more expensive with the ball in hand, 20-15 of the Fever. And it's been another area of Fever's game that they've really addressed. They were a team that did cough up a little bit of possession here and there, but as we've seen in the last few seasons, they're becoming a lot more patient with the ball.
The thief in the Sunshine Coast night, and she gets something for it. The Fever by 8. Intercepts 9-6 in favour of the visitors. Glasgow and Teague Niels work together. Glasgow scores.
Oh, Courtney Bruce. She's going to be pulled back for contact. She's got a bit of a shiner underneath her eye there, doesn't she?
That was from the incident in the 3rd quarter. I think you had a milking time.
I actually did, didn't I? Now I'm eating my words.
She's a tough cookie, Courtney Bruce.
Oh,
she can thank her twin sisters for that.
Stacey Francis Bayman trying to keep the ball in court, which she did, but the Lightning player was the first one there.
Batcheldor grabs an offensive rebound. Better second time around. So Kylie Byrne says it's 7 the difference. Let's charge home. Let's create some chaos, some atmosphere that Dan Ryan referred to in that most recent, or at 3-quarter time, I think it was. Maddie Hinchliffe gets off Bruce, who was saying to the umpire, let's go the other way. No love in return. Batcheldor leaves her shot short. Wood cleans up, and Riley goes bang.
Well, here's a timeout called, and you absolutely know what is coming from the coaches, in particular Dan Ryan. I would assume he'll be saying chip away at the 1-pointers. Lightning will be saying, if you feel comfortable, take the 2-pointers. Let's really throw some pressure back onto the Fever. So approaching an interesting last little period of time here in this final quarter.
Okay, really important in the next 7 minutes here, you've got to make the choice to want to win this game, all right? When we bust our ass to get that crucial turnover, we don't step away, we step into it, all right? So take it on, all 7 of you connected, contributing, playing your part. We have scoreboard forward pressure. We have ownership, all right? We're looking for those moments to turn the screws, but we're not going to keep opening the door 3 times in a row. So make the choice right now to be the one that slams it shut, right? We can do this, but let's find that extra gear. It's in here. Mindset. Let's go. Come on.
Our high performance value is we don't get off the circle until the goal is through. We take balls to transfers, okay? We're accountable for those 1%ers, so step it up and we put the pressure out there, okay? 3 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Courtney Bruce described herself as a little shy, a little quiet off court, but she's different on the court by her own admission, and there she is having the last say. What did you make of Dan Ryan there, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. We've said it already today, haven't we? He's passionate and he wants more and more from this playing unit. Judging off the performance against the Magpies in round 7, they let them back in. He said, let's close the door. Stop letting them in. Make a choice here in the last 7 minutes if you want to win this game or if you don't. So the direction from him was firm, precise. And that's exactly what you want in these moments, is that direction just to be up front, honest. That's what you get from Dan Ryan.
Let's go to Fowler. She adds 1 to the tally. Don't forget, Centre Circle every Thursday on Fox Netball. And last Thursday they asked the question, what are we going to call the Aussie men's netball team? They need a name. Well, Dan Ryan, who's played when the Aussie men were the Sonics, said he likes the Australian Kelpies. Let's see how the voting is when Centre Circle returns on Thursday with plenty to wrap up. Here's Cara Conan, because the netball comes thick and fast. Tonight, tomorrow, next Tuesday and Wednesday. Round 9 quickly into round 10.
Contact all defense.
Fowler again. Let's go across the court to Caitlin Bassett. What are the Lightning looking like right now as we look at the net points for Fowler and Bruce above 100 already? Over to you, Caitlin.
Yeah, look, right, you remember when you said this game didn't have much excitement, it was really flat? I feel like it's just been injected into this stadium. The crowd knows how important this last 6.5 minutes is. The players understand too. Kylie Byrne went straight to Cara Conan and said, we need you defensively in that middle third to turn over ball, because she is a super athlete. She's already got a couple of intercepts and they need to turn over ball now. So expect to see her streaming down on a Fever Centre pass. But really, I just want to see them settle in that goal circle. If they're going to win this game, they have to use every single second, chase up every loose ball and run the ball back to their own centre pass.
Well, it's what we saw Cara Conan do when she won that possession before. Oh.
Fever produced the turnover. Sasha Glasgow with it. Back to Courtney Bruce. Time on their side. A passing game from the Fever. Almost Suncorp super shot time, and it's Riley Batcheldor who's brought the crowd to life, and the Lightning back into it earlier in this game, but they're looking at an 8-point margin as we speak.
Yeah, and, you know, that turnover there was disappointing because had Lightning have scored off of that one, they could, approaching this super shot, as you can hear the hooter in the background, this is their opportunity. This is where they need to make the most of it. They need to sink them.
Wood quickly to Conan. Batcheldor. Under pressure here, Stacey Francis Bayman harassing the attacking end of the Lightning, winning possession, and now they'll look to pull away. Janelle Fowler, 62 of 62.
Yeah, well, another little disappointing mishap there for the Lightning forward line. Cara Conan doing her best to keep it in, but Stacey Francis Bayman just chasing that ball down. That's what Dan Ryan said to him. That's what he wants to see. Let's put it on the line. Let's not be mistaken. We want to win this game. Adjust your mindset and get on with it.
So with the game on the line, it's the Fever who kick. Conan to Wood and Batcheldor. They need to go up by 2 now. And there's the first 2.
And that's what she's capable of, Riley Batcheldor. She just has no fear. You can see her as Sasha Glasgow lines it up down this end. Oh.
Tara Hinchliffe did the hard work and then threw it straight to Teague Neal.
Absolutely, she did. Kept the ball in court, but unfortunately for her, she passed it straight to the wrong colour.
In round one, when the Fever beat the Lightning easily, Janelle Fowler was 64 of 64. That's ignoring the 2 missed super shots. She's 63 of 63 now. And a big moment for Jada Gaffer out there for her Suncorp Super Netball debut. Well done, Jada.
Well, she's a Sunshine Coast athlete coming through the pathways, so this is where her journey begins. Oh!
Played in the Sapphire State League, for the Queensland Fusion and the Australian Netball League, for the Lightning in the Aussie Netball Championships. 23-year-old Jada Gaffer.
Well, the only thing Janelle Fowler's really done wrong this match, spill over the sideline, but her stats, 64 shots from 64 attempts. Outstanding work from Janelle.
And she's gone to her season high Nissan net points tally, 127 and a half. Again, the ball falls for Frances Bayman. Just back to Jada Gaffer. How vivid is your memory of your debut, Laura?
Oh my goodness. I feel like after having 3 children, memories are very blurred. I'm lucky if I can remember yesterday. Oh no, look, these moments are so influential. They're when your parents are in the crowd, your family, coaches, people that have played such significant roles in getting to this point. It's such a special moment, particularly playing for a club that you've come through grassroots programs in. It's a little bit more special sometimes, so no doubt Gaffer will treasure this moment forever, as we just see Riley Batcheldor and Courtney Bruce getting tangled up on the ground.
Courtney hit the ground hard for not the first time this evening. The captain in her 10th year at the Fever. Will it be a first championship year at the Fever? Still a long way to go. Now Riley Batcheldor. The Suncorp super shot that misses into the final minute. The Fever, they're headed back home on Tuesday night to play the Vixens. 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. in the West. Won't that be a game? Fever Vixens top 2 coming your way on Fox Netball this Tuesday.
Well, this Lightning defence end, we spoke a little bit about it pre-game, saying they hadn't had much time together, and all together heading into this season. Combinations had to be developed and had to be developed fast, but sometimes seasons like this can actually galvanise defensive units and players. You've got to continue to win and win the ball. Your work rate is so high. The ball comes flying down to you, and you've just got to get on with it. And sometimes it actually can really make a defensive unit. So we've spoken about previous rounds, this Lightning defensive team doing a good job today. Haven't won as much ball, but a very, very different result between these two teams than what we saw in round one, wasn't it?
Janelle Fowler, 130 Nissan net points. Her only miss of the night was the last shot of the night, if it counts. The stats page reads at the moment 66 from 66, but the Fever have beaten the Lightning for the second time this season. They've made it 3 straight wins. They hold top spot on the Suncorp Super Netball ladder. They go 7-2 for the season. Dan Ryan's team is humming. They've handled the travel to the Eastern Seaboard, and now they go back home for a top 2 game against the Vixens on Tuesday. Fever 74 beat the Lightning 65.